Okay, let's do this fucking shit.
What's up, Roberto? How you doing there, Buttercup? You having a good time?
What's up, y'all? Sorry, man. That was weird. The intro on my phone, it started like crackling up, man. Well, everybody, welcome back. We are sitting ringside. This is episode number 183. I'm Robert Villa, and as always with me, David Rodriguez, Mark Abu Miller, and Rudy Lara. Guys, we are premiering our new setup. Thanks to Rudy for hooking this up. It's looking fresh. It's looking clean. Everything looks cherry. I hope everybody can watch us. We look like we're in HD. I mean, this looks fucking badass, Rudy.
You can see all my freckles.
Yeah. Right on. David should be joining us here in a little bit, but before we get started, as always, quick shout out to HKA USA. Go to hkausa.com and check out their merch. Go support them. They support Fight Book MMA. They support a lot of fighters, as we do as well. So if you want to buy some boxing gloves with our logo on there, get your pair. We got the all white and my favorite one, the all black. So go get them. And if you can't find them on the store, DM me and I can make it happen. Also to our live streaming partners, Flow Combat, Fight TV, ESPN Plus, The Zone, MMA TV. And of course, shout out to all our partner promotions that we work with really, really close. Go check them out in our partners tab. And also to Foxhound Fuel. Go to foxhoundfuel.com. Use our promo code FBMMA in all caps, please. You'll get a 20% of your purchases. Also, go to Bucked Up. Click the logo at the bottom of supporters at the website. We get a small kickback. Every dollar that we get goes back for this to happen. That's how we pay for our podcast to keep going. So go, please check them out.
And pretty soon, I just want to throw it in there, man. Pretty soon we'll be able to just use your phone and scan the QR code to send you directly to these products and these websites to our affiliates and our sponsors.
Hell yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. We don't get a lot of money, but whatever money we get, it goes straight to the podcast. That's how we pay for Restream. That's how we pay for everything that you see going on here. Also, if to the fellas out there, go to John Tyler, click the logo, use our discount Fightbook, all caps, for 20% off your entire purchase. Go check them out. If you want to get some comfortable underwear, that's the place to go. John Tyler is a badass guy. He's an awesome dude. Huge supporter of Fightbook MMA, so go check them out, please. Quick rundown of the events that are happening. Oh, wait. Before we get started. We don't have a guest tonight, right? But we might have a surprise guest, David, maybe?
Yeah, stay on the lookout whether you're watching and or listening. Well, of course, visually, there may be mystery guests from time to time that may be joining the podcast. You just never know who it might be. So yeah,
Yeah, you never know. You just
so
never know.
stay ready. Be a real fight fan. Stay tuned.
Hell yeah. All right, guys, let's do the quick rundown of the events that are happening this weekend. We have the MMA, kickboxing, grappling, Muay Thai category. First off, August 4th, live on Fightbook MMA, NFC 157, Mike Wilson versus Zach Cooper. Also on Fightbook MMA, Samurai MMA 7. These two are going to be streaming live at the website. Go to fightbookmma.com. And on August 4th, PFL 7, we have, PFL 7 2023 playoffs. Also on August 4th, One Fight Night 13, Alazov versus Gregorian. And Elevate 164, Mazo versus Lavado. Shout out to Sabina Mazo. She is a huge friend of Fightbook MMA and at Sitting Ringside. Also, my buddy from El Paso, he's also going to be fighting on the card. And I think there's a couple other guys on there. I can't remember, but yeah, go check that out. Also, our friends at on August 6th, we have Combate Global, Mexico versus Spain. On the boxing, bare knuckle and slap fighting category, August 4th, in Northern Ireland, Belfast, ESPN Plus, Padraig McQuarrie versus Steve Woodall. And also live on ESPN Plus, we have Panama City, Panama, Derek Cuevas versus Alberto Mosquera.
Say that again.
Which part?
The mosquito.
The mosquito. Um, Panama City, Panama, and ESPN Plus. Derek Cuevas versus Alberto Mosquera. And live on the Zone, Atlanta, Georgia, Elijah Pierce versus Mike Plania. And we cannot forget the most anticipated fight of the century this weekend, August 5th, live in Dallas, Texas, in streaming live on ESPN Plus pay-per-view, Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz. That's going to be a banger, guys. Well, maybe. And of course, we can't forget that same night there's going to be a title fight. Amanda Serrano versus Heather Hardy. They're fighting for Serrano's undisputed women's featherweight title. David, what do we say after all these events, man?
Okay, well, first and foremost, I do want to start out by saying if you didn't stay up all night last weekend, watch Super Rising, tweet about every fight, score every round, doing the most, you're 100% not a real fight fan if you didn't do that. But if you're not watching every single second of every round, of every single event that Rob just mentioned, not a real fight fan.
Not a
fight fan,
real
folks.
fight fan. And
Not a real fight fan. You got to be doing the fucking Friday challenges.
Mhm.
And me and David missed it for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe it came up late last week. We were like, "Did you see it?" I didn't see it. So last week, gotta admit, wasn't a real fight fan, but actually I was because I watched every single second of every single fight. I just didn't, there wasn't a sandwich of the night fight on that card last week. So yeah,
Shout
there
out
was
to
no need for
Jared.
it.
Was it Jared Calley confirming that it was the pickled cheesecake? So Dana White's going to keep eating like these abominations every Friday. And like Rudy said, you better be eating it during the fight twice on Sunday when you rewatch the fights. And you got to do the most. You're not a real fight fan if you don't do it.
You have to do the most, man, because if you don't, fuck you.
You're not a real fight fan.
Oh, shit.
Not a real fight fan, folks.
No.
It's all over the place. See?
But the events that took place in Salt Lake, I mean, it's crazy too. Like they always say Salt Lake City, like of course it is at elevation, but it's 4,000 feet. I mean, Rob, you're in Albuquerque. Mark, I'm not sure what the elevation is there. My home is 7,500 feet. So that Utah elevation, that ain't shit, right, Rob?
Hell no, man. Elevation over here, You go to the Sandias, you're at 10,000 feet.
Yep.
10,000 feet of elevation out there, and me and my wife hiked that mountain.
Yeah, that's
So,
why it's a go-to
mhm,
spot for all the Jackson Wink fighters. They used to be
mhm,
there's several hills that they train up there, and yeah, that is
yep,
definitely some real true elevation training, and that's why a lot of people come to Jackson Wink MMA in Albuquerque. And yeah, man, that's why for sure 4,000 feet, not quite the elevation, but still yeah, Utah.
man. If I go out there at 4,000 feet,
But Rudy said no sandwiches needed. The card itself, wow, I don't know, man. I mean, shoot. Starting with the main event, though, I mean, if these guys fight like 9 or 10 times, what? You guys think it'll be like a 5-5 deal or what? I mean, Dustin Poirier.
Maybe.
Yeah, unfortunately, the head kick KO finishes. That's the new thing in Utah, right? Like somebody's gonna get finished with a head kick, and kind of the last thing anybody seen coming was Justin Gaethje head kicking Dustin Poirier. Man, Herb Dean dropping the people's elbow, making sure no other unnecessary shots
That was
landed.
hilarious. The sliding
the
freaking
people's
elbow.
elbow.
It was just as advertised, though. It was just as advertised. Action and no judges needed. We all knew it was not going to go with judges' scorecard. So
Yeah, no. And I mean, credit to Justin Gaethje making the proper adjustments and just, the guys, the fight basically, they picked off where they left off in the last fight. Super close, Justin ended up, being on the wrong side, getting finished in that bout. But the guy that's just not easy to finish, always going out in his shield. Man, I thought Dustin had it, man. Credit to Justin Gaethje and shit, man. He made a big statement and put himself in the talks for the title. Conor McGregor's talking shit, calling him out. We know that fight's not happening, but it may in fact happen, though, right, Rudy? Like, what do you think about that one?
I like it, man. I like it. I mean, I was a little disappointed with the end result. It was kind of bittersweet, and even bringing it up right now, kind of my feelings kind of hurt. Painful to remember that moment that Dustin Poirier got knocked out.
Was it because you didn't make money because of that?
No, that's not it. Yeah. The kind of bets that I put there, they're always a gamble, man, because it's.
But remember what we said last week. Who cares who wins? Because this fight was going to be a badass fight, and we called it. It was a badass fight. Yeah. Win or lose on both fighters, it's still one fight that we're all going to remember. And I got to point something out. I don't know if y'all were going to talk about it or not, but for Joe Rogan and for DC to be comparing that kick to Usman, like that kick's been around for how long? Decades. That fake switch kick is been around for years. So yeah, okay, compare it, sure, but to say that it's the best thing in the world that it has happened lately, no, don't say that.
Yeah, very unlikely. Like how it played out. Like the fight was. I mean, who do you guys? I had Poirier was winning the fight, right? First round, he cut Justin.
Oh yeah, dude, for sure.
We were looking at as I was looking at the fight, pretty much going that way to the judges and being just a total war. But man, just Gaethje, man, perfect timing. I mean, they are comparing it, of course, to Leon Edwards making history. Yeah. That was, of course, in the 5th round. But just in the heat of the battle, though, Justin Gaethje, he's seen something, in training. Credit to his camp, Trevor Whitman, guy's a genius too, man, and he's drawn up that kick for Rose Namajunas a few times to get the finish. So Justin Gaethje sits on top, man. The BMF, the true BMF, but I don't know if hopefully he defends it. But I think there's probably talk of him, getting the title shot. I don't know if Volkanovski's fighting Islam for the rematch, but I would love to see Justin Gaethje eventually hold the lightweight title undisputed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that would be nice for him to get that title and to hold for both titles, and keep the BMF title and the lightweight. So I think, I don't know, man. I think it's going to happen. Yeah, I have a feeling that it's going to happen. And as you guys can check out the past episodes, I've been, supporting Justin Gaethje's, for years now. And I've always wanted him to get that opportunity to get the title shot, and be the champ.
Fresh matchup. So yeah, with Islam, that's a fresh matchup. His history with Conor. with Khabib and that, and then Charles Oliveira, of course, who's beating everybody. So you know what I mean. And Charles is in line definitely for the title, but I don't know if it's gonna be Justin next. Justin Connor is a big time money fight, and kind of with Rudy, man, I'm leaning towards that fight. Probably will fucking happen. UFC 300 for the BMF title, right? All of a sudden,
Probably.
But the fight, I mean, the event itself, attendance was 18,467. The gate was near $7 million. The UFC loves Utah, man. Like they're already planning to go back next year, and those fans showed out. Credit to them. It was a packed house from the beginning. They were in a bunch of just people showing up for the main card, and I know
they need to have Post Malone like open up, bro. Open up the event.
Hey, just like how Eminem opened up for.
That would be cool, bro. He's from
Utah,
isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
He's from Utah, isn't he?
Yeah, came up with Crawford.
Hey, bro, you know what? You can go to Cane's Chicken. You know, they sell the chicken strips, the famous chicken strips. You know, those happen to be the chicken strips that Pereira ate after he won. As soon as he won, they brought him some Cane's chicken strips. Anyways, you could buy the Post Malone fucking memorable cup. You know, it's like a collector's cup. You could buy it there at Cane's, man. They're like $1.20, dude. You can upgrade.
We have a Cane's here in Albuquerque, bro.
Go buy one, bro. I went
man, I'll put it on the show.
And I was like, hey, can I get one of those Post Malone cups? My wife really wants one.
Hey, they're going to be worth a fortune somewhere down the line.
Somewhere down the road, bro.
Dude, when they opened that Cane's here, the wait time to get there was like 3 hours, 4 hours.
Oh, man.
Because, I mean...
It's okay. They're fucking chicken strips, you know?
Hey, bro. Their chicken strips are the bomb.
Yeah. They are, but...
When I lived in Houston, that's all we would get, bro. We didn't care about KFC, churches, or anything like that. We'd go straight to Cane's. Even Popeyes, we would go straight to Cane's.
Hey, you know what? Speaking of Popeyes, Derek Lewis, man.
Hey, well, before Derek Lewis, before we get to that, what happened with him, Alex Pereira?
Let's talk about Pereira because he was eating the Cane's chicken strips.
And I mean,
then we'll talk about Popeyes.
Rob, you mentioned DC and Anik and them, and like I didn't really like how in this fight with Pereira and Jan, like they were totally on the Alex Pereira train. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, that kick was devastating, and like it really wasn't. Like Jan took some pretty big shots. There wasn't a whole lot of strikes landed. You know what I mean? Like if you look at the strike count for both fighters, not a whole lot of action. Alex Pereira, of course, he got flatlined his last fight. So I was curious to see how he would come about, how he'd approach the fight, especially with Polish power. You know what I mean? So very close fight. I had Pereira winning 2 of 3. You know what I mean? But it was super close. But it could have been a draw, right? Like easily could have been a draw.
It could have been a draw, but obviously when you leave the fight in the hands of the judges, I mean that's something that all fighters don't want to happen. But if you're not a finisher, at least you got to put those points in. You got to do that, and I think Alex edged it out a little bit, hurting Jan. But it was a close fight, man. It was really close fight.
I know one guy or two people. One of them, Sam Alvey, and he believes Jan, outright won the fight. He had like 7 minutes control time, finished the fight with the takedown, and landed a little bit more striking. I mean, it's super close. Like it's, I know Chael Sonnen said Alex definitely didn't win the fight. So I don't know, man. Like, I mean, the way I see it is like the jungle wanted Pereira to win. You know what I mean? For the potential Izzy fight, for him to fight Yuri Prochaska. They want those fights, and I guess Jan, whatever. But Jan said he got robbed. He was drinking Pabst Blue Ribbon in his hotel, and we didn't hear from him post fight. You know what I mean? So I mean, I don't know, man. I kind of felt bad for him. I did think like it was super close. It could have gone either way or a draw, and then it's kind of weird at that point. But credit to Alex Pereira. He got destroyed. He came back strong, and he's one of those type guys, those kickboxing guys where they get knocked out and they come back on like a 4-fight winning streak. And look at what he's done, coming into the UFC. Yeah. It's unbelievable, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I think I wouldn't have been mad if Jan would have won because it was a super close fight, man. It was really close, and I think it was one of those type of fights that nobody was going to say, "Oh, well, this person should have won." Obviously, you're going to get those, casual fans, but I think as hardcore fans, we would have been like, "Okay, well, I can see why John won this fight or why Alex won this fight."
Mm.
So, but you know what? Kudos to Alex for winning the split decision.
Yeah.
I hope they run it back and make a war out of it.
No,
I don't know if it's going to happen or if it's
that's not
going
gonna
to be
happen,
anytime
man.
soon, but let's see who they put Alex, Pereira in front of him.
Hey, but wait, they don't have a main event for UFC Sydney, so
Hey.
Could be, man. The
yeah.
boogeyman coming to take your marbles again.
Yep.
Hey, and it should be Sean Strickland, but according to his management, and I've heard the news that he's got visa issues. They can't seem to get that straightened out, and that's affecting the fight as far as him making the trip down there because we're 5 weeks out. You know what I mean? Like that's a total disaster not having a main event. Like
It's
we'll see what
because
Yeah.
happens.
they don't want me to go down there and beat the shit out of Izzy Adesanya because he's a bitch. He smokes 10 packs a day.
Shout out to Sean Strickland. I do hope they get that figured out and get a damn main event for UFC Sydney because,
Dude, he
geez,
needs to main event a fight and he needs a title shot. Come
Yeah,
on.
this fight was great, man. It was back and forth.
Yeah.
Like you said, it could have gone either way, man.
Yep.
Hats off to Michael Pereira. I mean Alex Pereira. I thought he fucking won this fight.
Yeah.
Jan, I mean he got some takedowns, man, and he controlled, but I just think Pereira, controlled the pace of the fight towards
Yeah.
the end, and
and he
that's
got
kind of the last thing in the judges' minds is him just fucking kind of controlling the last round and a half.
yeah, it's a strange situation with Jan though because we know that was a weird scenario when he was in a draw his last fight right with Ankalaev. That was for the belt, and nobody got the belt. Like we'll probably never see that scenario play out ever again. Um, Jamal Hill dropped the belt. So the 205 division is weird. The belt keeps playing hot potato, and we don't know when Yuri Prochaska's coming back. But like I said, they want Alex in those fights. You know what I mean? Obviously, they didn't want Jan, and the judges, I don't know, man. They may have screwed it up, but they want Pereira basically in
Yeah.
this fight.
Yep.
But,
Quick shout out to our viewer here in LinkedIn, Miss Vicky Jackson. Thank you for watching and supporting. Sorry, David.
Moving down on the card. Who knew Derek Lewis was going to channel the Masvidal knee? Coming in
Oh my God, bro.
That was crazy.
Because I think DeLima said is like all of his teeth are loose now and he can't eat, and like
What?
that knee fucked him up. You know what I mean? So Derek Lewis doing the most. We knew something crazy was going to happen post fight, and he delivered, man. And using the mic well. I know it's his last fight in his contract, so he has the options now. Like people are saying, go to PFL and fight Ngannou.
PFL, make that money, bro. That's what
BKFC
I'm
is
saying.
interested in him.
Nah. He needs to go to PFL and go and fight Ngannou and make
that paper.
an easy 2 million, easy, and go live your life. Black Beast, you deserve it, man. That dude is funny as hell. I don't think the UFC, maybe they might actually match it. I mean, he's got the most knockouts in heavyweight history, and he's like a fan favorite, bro. No, I don't know anybody who hates Derek Lewis. Maybe his wife. But, no, I'm just kidding, bro. He talks about her a lot. It's funny. But yeah, nobody expected that shit out of nowhere. And his post-fight interview was hilarious, dude. I love Derek Lewis. I hope the UFC will give him at least $2 million. Yeah. But he could do it in one fight. You know what I'm saying?
He can do more. He can make more money in one fight at PFL fighting freaking Ngannou.
Right?
Yeah, he's made pretty good paydays though too. I recall when he did fight DC at Madison Square Garden, he got upwards of like 1.5 million for that fight. So he has been paid pretty good, pretty handsomely since then. The contract situation since then, I don't know. We just know that this indeed was last fight on his deal, and he's got some options, man. And he goes out with the win, which is, I mean, at heavyweight, he's fought the best in the world. So, I mean,
But so we saw a different Derek Lewis Saturday night.
He
We
had
saw
abs.
we saw Derek Lewis weighing in with abs. Okay, he looked lean and he looked mean,
I changed my pick, dude. You know, after seeing him at weigh-ins, I was like, nah, I'm changing
bro.
my pick. Derek Lewis
I
is
I
should
good.
have done that.
then he comes in on fight night still with some abs, like,
Yeah.
and then he does that flying knee, and dude,
Didn't he throw his cup into the crowd too and everything, right? His
yeah, he
glove.
threw his
Yeah.
cup in
You
the
know that
crowd.
moment, bro. That moment just it made it an automatic 10 for me. It made it an automatic 10. I didn't care how the rest of the fight, the night ended. It was a solid 10, and it ended as a 10 for me, bro. That this event was a fucking 10 for me from
Well,
start to finish. There was maybe one, maybe sandwich fight of the night, but I guess we'll get into that later.
yeah, no, I mean, sad moment of the night. Tony Ferguson,
Oh,
who knew Bobby Green was going to choke him? Like, that was just, I don't know, man. That hurt, man, seeing Tony, my boy, go out like that. But the eye poke
You
compromised
can take the eye
Tony.
poke and jug off.
And it's not an excuse, Tony said. I mean, it's just Bobby Green's a madman. And, man, that fight was, it was Tony Ferguson will always leave it all out there in the cage. And now on a 6-fight streak, like, I just think of guys that had shit like that happen to them. Like I think of like Henan Barrow, who else? Just a big fall from grace where they're undisputed champs, losing 6 in a row, getting knocked out every time. Kind of like what's his name, Cody Garbrandt, which is he's still relatively young, top of the world, beating Dominic Cruz, then getting knocked out like 5 straight times. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
Tony Ferguson's 39 years old, going to be 40. Man,
I
that
think
one
he's younger
hurt.
than that.
No, Tony's 40, I believe. He's
Is
turning
he?
40. So
He
yeah,
was 40 already? I thought he was
yeah.
younger.
Yeah, no, Tony's an OG, man. He's Master Splinter. So, but
Yeah.
seeing the Master go out, Rob, whew, that one hurt, right?
I can pick him to win.
Friggin' Birdo with that friggin' evil laugh. That's an evil laugh, Birdo. Seriously, that's an evil ass laugh.
Look,
Oh
I
my
mean, come on.
god.
You got Tony Ferguson has not been the same in the last 6 fights. Okay. Well, the last 5 fights now with this 6th one. It's just really sad to see fighters of that high of caliber coming in and just not being able to win against guys that he should be able to beat.
Oh yeah, no, any day
You
like
know,
Tony Ferguson, like Bobby Green. If this fight happened 3 years ago, Tony probably starches him. You know what I mean? And that was still Tony losing 2 in a row or whatever. But now at 6 losses in a row,
yeah,
I don't know
dude.
where they go next. I don't know what the UFC has in plans for Tony. He's always been a company man. He stepped up on a day's notice to save the Nate Diaz shit show with Chimaev. You know what I mean? So
Oh, I remember that.
yeah,
Look, if the UFC continues to book fights with Tony, I hope that they keep in mind that Tony is getting murked.
he's his own worst enemy, but he's just a madman. You know? So.
Yeah, but it's not healthy, man. You know, CT comes to play. It's just it's a bad situation with Tony Ferguson being the way that he fights and how he fights. I think it's a bad situation for him, health wise and mentally. It's going to hurt him in the long run.
He's got things
So
going on outside the cage too. I know he's got his gym. He's got a couple business ventures, so he does have stuff in place where, like Tony, probably. I mean, he gets paid pretty decently, so I can see why he's taking fights. But I think
Yeah.
like he's at the point now where he maybe doesn't need a fight. In fact, maybe once a year he might take a couple more. But Tony's at the end of the road. I don't know who they match him up with. It's kind of crazy the situation he's in, but hopefully he's good. You know what I mean? I think the highlight fight though, what I loved, it's the fight that I've always wanted to see. Bobby Green finally called out Jim Miller, and that fight needs to happen.
Yes, it does.
And Jim Miller's fought everybody except Bobby Green. We
except
talked about
Bobby
it.
Green.
Yeah.
And
So they
that's
said
going to be a hell
UFC
of a
300.
fight.
Wow, how epic would it be? Jim Miller, what did he start out on, like UFC 31 or something, and he's fighting on UFC 300? Yeah, that's real shit.
Against Bobby Green, too.
Yeah,
Say that there. That's his 300 fight. Put it on that card.
Man, yeah, I love that he called him out. And Bobby Green, man, he's going to continue to fight these exciting fights and high profile bouts. So I love
But
that.
didn't Bobby take it on short notice as well against Tony, or no?
No, they were. Yeah, this fight's been slated. Yeah, for a while.
Okay.
But moving down on the card, I was not surprised at all that Kevin Holland ran through Michael Chiesa.
I thoroughly enjoyed that. I enjoyed the hell out of that submission. I don't know why. It's just I'm not, like I don't hate Chesia. I just enjoy when he loses.
We spoke about it too, though, and we knew he had back problems, and he'd been out on the shot for a couple years. So
did this dude just call him Chesia?
Yeah, isn't that the name?
Chiesa.
Chiesa, whatever. Chiesa. Chessa.
Yeah, amazing stuff from Kevin Holland. That guy is a savage, man. Like, I don't know if he goes back to 185. I kind of like him at 170, and shoot, the way the 170 division's going down, like there's some talent. There's some guys ducking each other. We know that the welterweight title is still not booked. Leon Edwards Colby still got some business to handle. Young up and coming killers. Shavkat, of course, his fight dropped out with Calvin Gastelum. So I don't know, man. I think Kevin Holland's crazy enough to even take on Shavkat. I don't know. Maybe they book that. Maybe he steps in. We'll see. But count on Kevin Holland to fight somebody soon.
For sure.
Moving down on the card, an absolute stud and a savage. Speaking about 170 killers, Gabriel Bonfim is an absolute savage.
Dude.
Yeah.
This guy is didn't we all pick Bonfim to win?
Yeah, I believe.
Right?
Yeah.
So I mean, but to win by submission in the first round, the first minute, dude.
I picked that.
He's deadly, man. I mean,
He is.
He's going to continue to fight. Well, he's undefeated, of course, but he's going to continue to fight some big names and just put a stamp on, like, I'm here, top 15 material. And shoot, he goes out there and just gets it done, man. So, like, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a quick turnaround and gets because Trevin Giles is a pretty badass dude too, and he ran through him like nothing. So look out, yeah, Gabriel Bonfim, he's going to get a big name his next fight, I believe. So. Fight. Well, I don't know, Rudy. What you said? No sandwiches. I thought maybe this CJ Vergara Vinicius.
Yeah, that was my sandwich fight of the night, bro.
Yeah,
100%.
That fight was kind of a snooze fest.
It was,
but
man.
Yeah, overall the card itself, I'd have to give it like an 8. I'm not going to give an outright 10. Rudy gave it a 10. I gave it an 8. It started out good. I really loved that early bout with the Euros medic. Getting hurt and coming back and smoking Matt Semmelsberger, because that guy's a savage too, man. So,
bro, Derek Lewis made it a solid 10, bro. I don't care about any other fight other night. I'm serious. Just seeing Derek Lewis open up with a flying knee and ending the fight the way he did. I mean, and then the post-fight interview. Come on, bro. Yeah. You can't tell me that wasn't a solid 10 just for that shit alone.
Right?
I'll give it a 9, I guess, for that.
Hey, if Dana White was there, I would have gave it a 10. That's the elephant in the room. Where was Dana? I heard he was on a yacht and he brought a casino on the yacht just to be out there and like, gamble and like crazy. Like that's Dana White, right? Like,
must be nice.
Must be nice.
And they need to pay Wonder Boy, but I heard that people were pissed off about that. But I think the real details about it is he has some stipulation in his contract where if he doesn't take the fight or like an alternate bout or alternate opponent, that the UFC is not they don't have to pay him. So some fighters have those clauses in their contract. So and Wonder Boy is one of them.
Man, I wouldn't sign that shit.
But he's actually
if I get to the fight and I make weight, your ass better pay me because I fulfilled my contract for that fight.
Yeah, it's something along the lines of that. But I heard Luke Thomas talk about it a little bit. But Wonder Boy is kind of one of those fighters where he doesn't really have to take the fight. He's pretty well off. But there's some fighters where they got to fight. If they make weight, the UFC offers them an opponent. I don't know if they offered anybody else to Stephen Thompson that night, but something kind of funky happened there, and UFC is not obligated to pay him. But hopefully Dana, man, drops him a couple of those $10,000 Red Rock casino chips, like.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, that was concluded the card. I mean, history's always getting made. Yeah, well, he's a killer too. He's a chase.
That was a nice.
That sounded like a fucking baseball bat, smacking somebody across the head. It was
Oh, dude.
Yeah, he's a low key killer. That's why I said early portion of the card it set it off nicely, but yeah, 8 to 10. It was a great card overall. Just Dana not being there, they ain't gonna get my 10. If he was there, 10. But on that same night too, you're not a real fight fan. If you didn't watch Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, I was like, I had to rewatch it because I was watching UFC, of course. But most boxing fights, you don't really like fighters don't land clean throughout the entire fight. You know what I mean? This fight, Crawford, every shot he landed was clean, destroyed. You know what I mean? Errol Spence, I mean, credit to him for making the fight happen, but it wasn't even close, man. I mean, the weight cut, both guys have had their trials and tribulations, injuries, stuff, and they made the fight happen. Maybe they do a rematch, but Crawford's got both belts. Man, he made it look
What's his
easy.
face has a clause in it, a rematch clause.
Yeah, okay. Well, if they do it again, they do it at the 154, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But Crawford looked real good that night. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, Bud's on another level. He definitely is. So, and Caleb Plant slapped Jamal Charlo right in the back.
Yeah, dude. What the fuck was that all about?
Yeah, that's boxing.
You're muted, Rudy.
It was about being a man. That's what you do, bro. When somebody steps up in your territory and they want to front like there's something.
Power
you got to
slap.
go up and you got to go and slap them or you punch them. You punch them if you respect them. You slap them if you don't respect them. So
and you backhand him because
he respects him. You know, so I expect I expect to see a fight.
Yeah, but Crawford is top notch, and I mean, I don't know. I don't see anybody beating him anytime soon. Even in a rematch, I don't know. The weight cut didn't help, you know what I mean? So we'll see. But yeah, that should conclude. Well, last Saturday night, like I said, you know what? Ryzen all night long, tweeting every fight, every round, press conference. Yeah, Juan Archuleta, but he got the win. But Pitbull, there were some legit bouts. Like,
wasn't that jiu-jitsu event in Albuquerque last weekend too?
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I was watching that. I couldn't remember if it was last weekend or the weekend before, but I was watching that.
It was that Friday.
It was Fight to Win, right?
Fight to win. Yeah. My
awesome.
friend, our friend of sitting ringside, Natalia, she won her match. My boy Ray Viza won his match. I think he broke the guy's rib or something like that, slamming him or trying to submit him. I think he won. So yeah, Natalie Speed, shout out to her. We need to get her back on the show. Yeah, it was a pretty cool event, man. It was at the hotel where I used to cover. Me and David used to cover King of the Cage. So where that venue, me and David know that place like the back of our hand, man. But that place is nice. The way they
the back of your hand.
Yeah, both. These manotas.
But yeah, sandwich. Last Saturday, you had to be a real fight fan though to get all that in one night, and the Dana White Challenge.
Yep.
That concludes UFC 291. Before we get to our picks and predictions we'll touch on Bellator. We'll touch on PFL. Jake Paul, Nate Diaz. We'll talk about that, and we'll do our picks and predictions for Corey Sandhagen and Rob Font. But before we get to that, it's that time of the show where we're going to talk about some.
What are we going to talk about, boys?
Some outside the cage news.
Man.
Outside the cage news.
Yes, again. News, there's definitely a lot to talk about. We're going to try to squeeze in as much as we can. I'm going to start with some fight bookings because there are some really cool matchups that got announced. Starting with, have we ever had two guys that have been on the show fight each other on a UFC card? We're going to see it. Fer Padilla, our boy, Kyle Nelson, a primo.
Dude, when I saw that, I was like, wait a minute. We just had these two guys on our show, and now they're going to fight each other?
6 months.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's a legit matchup.
I didn't see that coming, bro.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, that is super fucking weird. They were both on our show recently, and now they're fighting each other. It'd be cool to have them both jump in on a call.
Oh, dude, that would be dope if we could get them both
of them at the same time. That'd be funny.
Yeah.
Hey,
it would.
man,
You know what? When is their fight?
it's the UFC card, the Mexican Independence
The-
Day, the Noche, UFC Noche.
September 16th, 15th, I
Okay.
think.
Yeah, so
Let me do some texting and see what I can do.
yeah, and that card is legit, man. I mean, we talked about it last week. I heard something about it, but I didn't see Kyle Nelson's name attached to the opponents for Fed. So I don't know if there was other guys offered. Of course, Fed's going to take the fight. You know what I mean? He wants to fight on that day. Kyle Nelson just had a pretty damn good performance. So somewhat of a quick turnaround. I've seen Kyle already working in the gym. Fed's always working out there. Team Oyama guy. So that's a really, really legit matchup. Like, these guys are trying to make their mark, up and comers in that division.
Yeah.
So talk more about Fed, or Mark, if you reach out to Kyle, maybe we can get to do some individual stuff, or have them both jump on, whichever. Because much love for both guys, both great dudes. You know what I mean? And Fed, he's amazing, man. Great guys.
Yeah.
And there is because that card is the UFC Independence Day. We know we lost Shavkat and Calvin Gastelum, so they need to get Shavkat a fight.
Dude, fucking Galveston, man. Galveston. Gastelum.
Galveston. Galveston.
Yeah, no,
Gastelum. Why do you got to train so fucking hard? And why do you have a sparring partner that is going to be doing stupid shit like that?
he's got the most canceled fights, 13
He
fights
does.
canceled. Yeah,
He does.
I think he has Chris Brown beat. I don't know. Most of those are Chris Brown's opponents not wanting that smoke. We know that. So, but yeah.
Uh,
But we do, moving on fight bookings, we do have a legit 205 matchup where Johnny Walker against Magomed Ankalaev. Legit, man. I love the fight. Man, Johnny Walker, had a rough start in the UFC, a lot of hype, and I think he's on his path to being like a title contender. And if he does get past Ankalaev, he's right there. And he's a big boy, kind of like Pereira. I think he's probably like taller than, or nobody's bigger than Alex Pereira, right? That dude's just
no.
huge, right?
Yeah.
But I love that they announced that fight because, that moves the 205 division forward. Yuri Projaska, we don't know when he's coming back. The belt is vacant, and we got Alex Pereira possibly fighting for that belt too. You know what I mean?
It's going to be good, man.
Yeah.
Jonathan Martinez is fighting Adrian Yanez. That Jonathan Martinez is an absolute savage, dude. That guy is a rising star in that division.
Mhm.
Yanez has fought for the belt. He hasn't looked too good lately. I think he may, in fact, be toward the end of his contract there. So, Jonathan Martinez, I know, a good friend of our boy Roy Hot Sauce down in Clovis. Shout out to Roy Saucedo. That's his boy.
Yeah.
And who did he leg kick TKO'd? Who his last fight? Right, he's nasty. Forget his opponent. Was it Cub Swanson?
I can't remember.
Yeah, I believe Jonathan Martinez. I think he injured Cub Swanson TKO leg kick. Beating
I don't
legends,
know.
man.
Maybe you really can look that shit up.
Yeah. But what do you guys think about because Shavkat not having a fight? What do you guys think about Wonder Boy maybe getting that turnaround and fighting Shavkat?
I mean, Wonder Boy's ready.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You
He
know,
is.
I mean, he's fight ready, so why not?
Do it.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a quick turnaround, but I hope they do get that fight. I mean, if it's not Bilal Muhammad's out there, right? But Bilal Muhammad and Shavkat's actually pretty legit. But I'd love to see Wonder Boy and Shavkat. That's kind of like old school, new school. Like that's the real deal right there. You know what I mean? I love that fight. So UFC matchmakers out there, I know they're announcing fights. Well, what do they do? Like the Tuesday War Room deal, and that's where these fights came from. But I know for sure Shavkat's going to get a fight. It's got to be a big name though, right? It can't just be some debut UFC guy, right? Like,
Yeah, but they listen to our show because a lot of the matchmaking that we do kind of happens the following week.
all right. Well, in that case, Nick Diaz against Shavkat. Fuck it, let's do it.
I'm for it.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a couple others. Big Marcel broke the news. Rudy, which is the one you're talking about? Lando Venata's dropped out, and
Oh
what's that
yeah,
fight?
it's Terrence McKinney.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Who's he fighting? Hold on.
Yeah, Lando Venata dropped out. It's a last minute replacement. So
It's like he's fighting in 2 weeks, man.
yeah, I think they added Big Marcel Brian Battle versus AJ Fletcher. That's added to UFC 79 September 23rd.
Yeah, he's fighting Mike Breeden.
That's right. Okay. So yeah, some interesting fight bookings. I mean, shoot, they're still missing a main event for Sydney, and we don't have Colby versus Leon. So, and yeah, we'll wait to see what finds out there. But a little bit more outside the cage news. Apparently, there's bears in China at a zoo that are people in bear suits.
That's my cousin Marvin. I told you
Oh,
already,
so we're
guys.
doing one Lizzo minute now then? All right, perfect.
Oh man.
So we got
Yeah.
1 minute to break down the bear in China zoo. It wasn't a bear. It wasn't a human in a bear costume. It was actually Lizzo, folks. And she was asking people to shove bananas in weird places. Okay,
My
kind of
fucking
weird.
Lord.
Just letting you know that's what she was doing. And it wasn't a bear, and it wasn't a human in a bear costume. It was actually Lizzo.
No, but you could clearly see, Rudy, if you could queue up a picture of that for people watching, you could see that the bear costume, it has like shoes on. If you zoom in close enough, it's like, come on, it's not a
Dude,
bear.
and in the back, it's all wrinkled. Like if it, yeah.
That's hilarious, man.
That's ridiculous, bro. If that is freaking real, that's whack, and it's sad.
Because
Let me see if I can pull it up for you guys.
Yeah, because
I'm just waiting for the stupid ad to finish.
Oh man, yeah, that's what I seen that, and I enhanced one of the pictures where it shows it standing up,
Here, look,
and you
check it
can
out.
clearly see it has like boots on. You know what I mean? The person.
It shows. Is it a bear? What is it? Take a look. The video claims to show
It's
a bear standing on
Lizzo.
its legs inside a zoo enclosure, but some folks say because of the way the bear is standing there and the folds
That's
of skin on
Lizzo,
its back,
dude.
it's actually a person. The zoo insists the video really does show a rare protected species of bear and was not faked.
It's a bear.
I think it's a person.
I think it's Lizzo.
That would have to be a
Jim, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Once.
It's
You
a bear.
think
I think it's Lizzo.
Yep, that's a bear.
Oh, because
Biden.
of the, is it because? All right, all right.
I don't know, man.
And that concludes one Lizzo minute.
Yeah, that's 100% for sure a person in a bear suit.
That's gonna be a new segment. One Lizzo minute.
The
A
one
little more than a
little
minute,
bit.
but it was perfect.
But from bears to outer space to the outer rim of the galaxy of our solar system, the government's now talking about the once, I don't know if you guys heard about it or people listening, Planet X Nibiru. It's like been confirmed that it's there, and like it may appear in the sky soon. And I've known about this for like 20 years now, and I actually found the planet like on Google Earth years ago. And you guys heard Planet X? Like people think,
They're coming back. They're coming back to recover their resources. That's what
yeah,
we
like
are to them.
Like the Fifth Element type deal.
Yeah, Planet X has been around, and a lot of people have known about it.
The last time the civilization on Planet X came around, they colonized Earth, and now they're coming back around to take what's theirs, which is our people and our children. And our
they ain't taking shit.
Yeah,
they ain't taking shit. MAGA. You sound like a Donald Trump supporter, Roberto.
Oh,
Speaking of Trump, no, I'm just kidding. No, apparently Planet X is on a 26,000 year orbit, but it does in fact come through the solar system. So it's very interesting that government's been talking about UFO disclosure, confirming that aliens exist. They had that meeting recently where there's a lot of whistleblowers and people talking about aliens. So on this show,
no one gave a shit.
Well, Canada, there's plenty of alien or UFO sightings there too. I think one of the highest ranked officials that confirmed that UFOs are real was from Canada originally. But kind of crazy that this Planet X is now in the news because
you're muted, Rudy.
I'm saying, talk to GSP and tell him that he's crazy and that's bullshit. He'll roundhouse kick you to the head.
Yeah,
damn right.
But keep an eye out to the sky. You might just see Planet X Nibiru.
Planet X, it's on the outer rim of where Pluto is, right?
Yeah, because it's a rogue planet. Like I said, it's on a long 26,000. Because it came through apparently years ago, when the fucking dinosaurs were here or something. And
the outer rim.
Probably maybe 3 or 4 times it's passed through, but it's real. It's not fake. Look it up. Facts.
Yeah. Planet X it's real, and there's a lot of planets, dead planets that are out there, and some planets that are possibly could be livable.
No, but this
So
one's totally aliens, though. For sure.
I'm just waiting for the James Webb telescope to capture something, because it's already captured a lot of pictures that the other two satellites couldn't get a clear picture of our planets that surround us.
But we don't
So
really need to go
I'm
that
just waiting.
far.
I'm just waiting for the James Webb telescope to go further, deeper into space, and see what it discovers, man.
Well,
Because
if they're saying it's
I'm
close
all for
and
that.
it's ready to come around, then I'm pretty sure the James Webb Telescope could be able to see it by now.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and I'm not even worried about Planet X. I think what worries me most is hearing this recent story of Elon Musk wanting to do some type of secret project on the dark side of the moon. He had discussed it with Trump when Trump was in office, and Trump didn't want nothing to do with it. But like, there's some crazy conspiracy stuff happening, and it's fact, 100% real facts. People look it up. Donald Trump and Musk. Hey, if anybody knows about Planet X, it's Elon Musk.
He's from there.
Yeah. Oh, it's the Manda Shiwan tribe. You know, what I mean, they bring the fifth element. They save the world.
He's from Planet X. Why do you think he named Twitter X?
There you go.
Yeah.
Raise those pyramids up.
I can't raise pyramids up, but I can put some other music on.
Yeah. But absolutely, like every week, we're going to keep hearing about aliens until they show up in the sky. Yeah, I mean, at this point, we're waiting for it. Right? Like, I mean,
dude, aliens are real.
Aliens.
Spaceships are real.
Aliens.
I've seen it. I have video of an alien ship when I went to go camping with our boy Joe Coca. I have a video of an alien, and I will show it to you guys.
No, yeah, well, they're real, in fact, and not just because we live here in New Mexico, and that's where the first alien recovered.
You have a picture of a real alien?
No.
You have a picture of a real alien?
Do I want a picture of a real alien?
No, you have a video of a real alien. You said you had a picture.
No, of an alien ship.
Let's see it.
No.
Well, I can't show it now. It's on my phone.
Oh.
But I'll send you guys the clip.
Not a real alien fan. But is there anything else you guys want to touch on Outside the Cage News? I was going to bring up that before we went live, I heard the story about Song Yadong getting robbed at gunpoint in San Francisco. You guys heard about that? Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Apparently it happened yesterday or so. But
oh, dang.
Yeah. But yeah, that's definitely outside the cage news. You know what I mean? Like that's amazing. Like wrong place, wrong time, wrong neighborhood. I know San Francisco's pretty rough. I mean, if you're in like the what do you call it? What do they call that area? The Tenderloin district or something like that, or whatever. Like it's pretty bad. Pretty bad place to be. So.
Yeah, well, not as bad as in Los Angeles.
Not as bad as Albuquerque.
Or in Albuquerque in the war zone.
Oh, there we go. Rudy's got it queued up here.
昨天晚上，我和我的朋友开车从旧金山回萨克拉门托，路上我们被
He said they're driving to Sacramento.
持枪抢劫。
中国当时你害怕吗？
我当时喝了点酒，因为我跟我朋友一去嘛，然后他负责开车，他就没有喝。我们当时是往回走的时候，我有点渴，让他下去帮我买水。买水呢，然后他开车看了几个加油站都很暗啊，他就去最亮那个。去最亮我们去抢劫，他整装待发。
Too bad there's no video of the actual.
Yeah. I mean, there's video of everything, you know what I mean? But that's still
right?
Pretty crazy story. And I mean, Song Yadong's a bad dude, you know what I mean? So somebody.
He's lying. He's another Jussie Smollett.
Oh my God.
He's lying, bro.
But did you guys hear that?
I bet you those 4 black dudes that supposedly, allegedly robbed him, they were all wearing red MAGA hats. Guaranteed, bro.
Did you guys hear about Iron Mike Tyson joins the camp in Ngannou and will be in fact cornering Francis in Saudi Arabia against Tyson
Oh
Fury.
shit!
Wow.
You talk about
Interesting.
heavyweight greatness in under one roof. Doesn't get much better than that, you know.
No, but I did hear about his motherfucking weed gun.
Oh shit!
You know, Mike Tyson bought a weed gun.
That's the best thing I've ever seen right there. Yeah,
Oh my god.
that's one of the coolest things you'll ever
Really,
see.
that's all you right there, man.
Hell yeah. I would love to hang out with Mike Tyson.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's the coolest thing you'll ever see in this life, right there. Besides aliens, but
Besides Planet X.
yeah, and Planet X, yeah.
Nibiru.
But I think, yeah, that's why. Well, we'll talk about. I guess we can get to Nate Diaz, Jake Paul, and then we'll get to Sandhagen Font because the press conference did happen today, and a brawl broke out, and of course Jake Shields was in the mix. Isn't he always in some type of brawl? And I don't know, man. Nate went off. He said a lot of crazy shit, and then he said, "Oh, I apologize for any bad words." Or what did he say, Rudy? What was the actual?
Oh, I didn't catch that part. I just caught all the parts where the bad words are thrown.
Yeah, no, but he told Jake Paul he was a effing F, and
a British cigarette.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's total. Like the conference was pretty lame. Like I thought it would be like a bunch of cops and like just a bunch of like shit would break. I knew a brawl would break out, but I didn't think it was gonna be like that. Like Nate's kind of like tuned out of like the whole like hasn't been a whole lot of.
I think the only thing that really hyped him up was that little ball rag bitch calling him out and talking shit. Like I don't even know why they put that kid on the mic, bro. This is the last guy who fucking trolled him and was talking shit. It's like,
no,
dude.
that's right.
And now he's putting out videos for clout on Twitter, and it's kind of pathetic, man.
That's the new norm. That's the new thing to do. Yep, that's the shit to do. But Nate's has happened to like he's like slapped reporters and knocked their mics out of their hand in the back for like talking shit. So like Nate keeps it real and pays attention to like Twitter and people talking smack. Cause yeah, that's why Nate's a real motherfucker, man. But yeah, as far as like the promotion for this fight though, terrible, man. Like we have not like people like are people gonna pay for this pay-per-view, Rob? Like are they really gonna want to watch or pay a ticket to go to the show? Like what do you think the turnout's gonna be?
Well,
under 10,000.
I don't know, man. I don't think it's going to be a packed house. I don't think a lot because look, we haven't really seen any promotion on this fight.
Yeah, I mean, you posted stuff in the chat or in the group, and it's straight from the website. And like, a lot of people, people that follow Fight Book MMA are very hardcore fans, and they're like, we did not even know it was happening this week. You know what I mean? Like, we knew it was creeping up. We talk about it each week on the show, but I've gone on the record saying I won't believe the fight will happen until it happens. And we're still in that like gray area where like you never know, like last minute canceled because there's no ticket sales, or it just could be I don't know.
Well, man. But then you got to think about it too. You have the co-main event, which is Amanda Serrano fighting Hardy for the belt. And there's a lot of huge following on both females. Yeah. So a lot of people could stay until that fight. And if the Jake Paul Nate does happen, probably half of those people are going to leave because they don't give a shit about that fight. All they care about is watching Amanda and Hardy's fight.
Yeah, they've always paired Serrano with Jake Paul. They've always promoted both of them and had them both compete. But we all know, Serrano, proven champion, professional. Jake Paul, came on the scene, and we call it the Jake Paul effect, right? Like you fight Jake Paul, you make a bit of money. He's going out there, and I mean, I'm all for Nate Diaz getting paid, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
I mean, so for him to get paid and fight Jake, but it's just the lack of promotion is it's kind of sad, man. But I hope fucking Nate Diaz goes out there and puts on a show. I hope there's no fuckery and like no bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause if the fight does happen, win or lose on either side, I believe there's going to be some fuckery. You know what I mean? No doubt.
And I do hope that it's a packed house because that means a lot of the fighters are going to get paid.
Yep.
And that's what we're all about, right? We're all about getting these fighters paid. So I hope they do, and I hope in their contract they get pay-per-view money as well. So, but you just never know, man. You never know. I have a feeling that a lot of people are just all about the Serrano fight, not so much about the Nate versus Jake. I think the Jake train of what he's doing has kind of fizzled away because not a lot of people are talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool last year and the year before, but now it's like, who
Yeah,
cares?
it's not the flavor of the month, and that's what the like a lot of new fans, new era fans. That's what they're. But Jake Paul, they love him though. You know what I mean? Like his
Yeah,
style, what he does. He's kind of like the Sean O'Malley,
We love
deal with like
landlords.
it's. I mean, what it comes down to is it's two boxers who they're professionals, of course. But Nate's never fought. He, of course, he's trained with champion boxers his entire life. He's never set foot in the ring and been a professional boxer, an MMA fighter. And Jake Paul's never beat a real boxer. You know what I mean? His opportunity last year, which he lost, you know what I mean? That kind of dropped a lot of shine. You know what I mean? Like you said, Rob. So people are just like, this Jake Paul kid, he's fighting Nate Diaz. He ain't a real boxer. You know what I mean? Or whatever that
yeah,
argument is out there. So, but I mean, I'm all for them getting paid. I know Jake Paul is worth. Jake Paul's got more money than any fighter in the whole roster of the UFC at this point, and he's fought 5 times. You know what I
yep.
mean? So, yeah, Jake. I don't know what the payouts will be, but I know Nate's getting $5-6 million, for the fight. So he deserves every penny. And who knows? Maybe they go to PFL and they fight in the cage afterwards. They settle it that way on Nate's terms.
Well, Jake's saying that he offered Nate 10 million and he turned it down.
Yeah, that's right. That's what's been said. But I'm pretty sure if Nate wins, Jake's gonna want to try to get that shit back. And if it's in the ring, they do it again because Nate's got to go out there and look good, man.
I think that's what Nate's counting on, bro. Banking
Yeah.
on winning and winning, handedly. And then he could say, hey, you know what? Now that I beat you, I actually want to fight me again in the cage. It's going to cost you more than 10 million.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, give me 20. Give me 100 mil.
And he's put himself in this position very proper. He went out with the win, of course, over Tony Ferguson. The UFC kind of like they allowed that to happen. Nate was, contract situations are always problems with Nate in the UFC. So if the fight does happen in MMA, it's PFL and not the UFC, unless like Nate goes back and fights Connor. So we said this when Nate left the UFC that he put himself out there the opportunity to make the most money possible, which would be in boxing. Maybe he does compete in MMA because that's where like a lot of his followers they will pay money, they will show up for the MMA side. But this boxing event, we shall see. Hopefully, it's not as bad as like that last Mayweather fight where they had to pan the camera like directly on the fighters and not show the crowd because there's nobody there.
Yeah.
It's horrible. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I don't think it'll be that bad though. That was fucking horrible. But
yeah, somebody had put forth the question, if these guys would ever do a potential event, an MMA event, Nate versus Jake Paul and Nick Diaz versus Logan Paul. And I was like, you know what? I never really thought about that. That would be pretty fucking cool.
Yeah. Nick's been on the shelf for a little bit. He's healthy now. He had that neck surgery. He's got an ironclad contract to the UFC, though, because, I mean, he's got that shitty contract with the UFC. Horrible. You know what I mean? So I don't know how he's going to get out of that. But I think he's got to get a fight soon. But, yeah, the Logan Paul thing with Nate, I would love for that to happen. They could put it on in a boxing ring. That's fine with me, too. But Nick can't
be boxing. MMA, bro. MMA.
Yeah. I'm like, what was I going to say, too? Or that brawl, that altercation, like, I don't know if that's going to lead to like I said, stuff that happens after the fact, like with say Diaz goes out there and flatlines Jake Paul, like some shit's going to go down. You know what I mean? Like there's already tension and there's beef and like there's probably a bunch of cops who's going to be surrounding the ring and shit. And like,
there was a lot of tension and just weird awkwardness when Jake Paul was saying he was going to bend him over and fuck him like a cowboy.
Yeah. What the hell?
I don't think cowboys really do that. I mean,
just because there's a movie about it doesn't mean it always happens.
That's just weird, bro. And then he kept talking about he was going to spread his cheeks and he was going to grab them cheeks. You just keep an eye out, people. Just watch. you know, this weekend I'm gonna be grabbing them cheeks. Like what?
What the hell?
It was cringe,
still-
bro. It was cringe.
Oh, it's absolute cringe, and we know they haven't actually made this weight. They haven't met the scale, so that's going to be even more controversial there. And who knows, another brawl breaks out there. I think it's gonna it really there's a high probability that a complete shit show happens that night, right at the end of the night.
I don't know.
Mark's
been
big
doomed.
ass face.
It's been doomed from the beginning, though. I mean, it started
No,
from
I was turning my camera off for a second. Sorry.
No, but this whole fight lead up and everything about it, promotion, it's been doomed since the beginning, right, Rudy? Like the original presser, there was like more people like at the gas station than at that presser. It was horribly planned. So
And this one just there's not a lot of energy, bro.
yeah.
And people wonder why Nate doesn't want to say anything. He's not a very talkative guy, number one, and number two, if he's bored, he's really not going to want to say shit.
Yeah. Well, hopefully he goes in there guns blazing, and like the fight means a lot to him. He's going to get paid, but then on the other side of the coin, Nate's lost fights before too. You know what I mean? So it's like he's going out there and he's going to want to, of course, look good. He doesn't want to look like a chump against Jake Paul, and Jake Paul's going out there, fucking hey man, he looks kill. I mean, he's been looking good in training. I think Bo Nickel piece him up or something? He had to pay him $1,000. You guys hear that story?
No.
Yeah, apparently Bo Nickel got the best of him in a sparring session, and he paid him like $10,000 or something like that. Some money changed hands. So, yeah, look it up. It's for sure. It's facts. MMA facts.
MMA facts.
But who do you guys got winning? What do you think? Starting with you, Mark. Mark, I think your pick is I'm gonna say you got Jake Paul, right? Tell me you got Jake.
No, I don't have Jake Paul. I think Nate's gonna win a decision because he has enough rounds to win the fight. You know what I mean? Usually he only has like 3 or 5, but he's gonna have I think 12 rounds in this fight. So
10, yeah.
And you know what? We know he has great cardio. We know Nate has good cardio. He can last 12 rounds. But we all know Jake's gonna go for that big ass finish early. But Nate's gonna just stretch it out. He's gonna get cut. We know that. He'll probably get cut and bleed a little bit, like both Diaz's do. But I think Nate's gonna pull it off, and he's gonna win.
Damn, Mark. You know what? We've trained you well, brother. I know,
right?
You know what? That's like I like your breakdown, bro. I really like your breakdown and your assessment, and I agree 100%.
Yeah.
That was really good, Mark.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I mean the turnout. Hopefully, it's not horrible. Hopefully, everybody in the Dallas, Fort Worth area.
Less than 10,000. I told you.
The ticket prices, the cheapest cost I've seen is $53 for like the upper deck, on up to like $10,000 for ringside. So if you're out there in Dallas, Fort Worth, show up, show support. Because I mean, I don't know. I think this is the first of like 3 fights with these guys. I have a feeling it's going to be, like I said, fuckery. Where I don't know if Nate might get screwed or it'll just be shitty.
Boxing, MMA, and a wrestling match. It'll be Nate and Nick versus Logan and Jake at WrestleMania.
Hell yeah!
Well, Nate Diaz deserves to be on a WrestleMania. Hell yeah.
WrestleMania 40 in Philly.
Yeah, but my pick is for sure Nate Diaz all the way, baby. Jake Paul goes down.
I gotta root for Nate. I really don't like Jake. I'm going for Nate.
And Jake's fight is like Rudy. Jake's career is on the line here, right? Right. He's got
not really. I mean, if he loses, then he's got a fight ready to go for him in MMA against Nate. So not a big deal.
Yeah, his boxing career is on the line. You can't take another.
And he has that super fight league still, so
yeah,
he does have shit to fall back on if he does lose. You know what I mean?
But he doesn't have the full Jake Paul effect. That loss to Fury kind of, you know what I mean? It changed. That's why Rob said there's not all the fucking Jake Paul people where they at. You know, if they show up to Dallas, then we'll see. That's why I'm basing this whole thing on like the turnout, how much people really do care. Because the Amanda Serrano fight, there's a couple good fights. I know Chris Avila,
Jeremy Stevens on the card.
Yeah, that's right. So there's some pretty good. I mean, of course, you're going to be watching from start to finish. You know what I mean? But it all comes down to the weigh-ins. We'll see what happens, and I'm still sticking to the fight is not happening until they actually walk to the ring. Yeah.
But we can guarantee, win or lose, it's going to be turned to a no contest because Nate's going to be high.
Oh man, yeah, something, right? Yeah, you never know. That's why I said total fuckery. So. But Diaz all the way, baby. So
of course, let's go, Nate.
But touching on what is it, Rob? You mentioned the LFA card earlier too.
Yeah.
Taking place in El Paso. Shout out to our boy Josiah Reyes. He's competing on the card, the Silver City Strangler, and they're having the event. I think at the outdoor stadium, right? The UTEP. But pretty dope that LFA is making that happen. And yeah, man, that's legit, man. Love Josiah Reyes. So yeah, I would have to definitely do a little piece on him or get him on the show, talk to him afterwards, follow that guy's entire career. You know what I mean? So.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, go ahead, Ron.
No, go ahead.
No, I'd say LFA's happening. We do have PFL. What is it, Bubba Jenkins, right?
Ooh.
Main event.
It was
right?
fun to watch.
Yeah, there's a bunch of content Emmett put up on YouTube, Fight Book MMA YouTube. So go to Fight Book MMA YouTube, like, subscribe, check us out there. Tons of great stuff. But it all starts like Saturday, man. If you're not watching Nate Diaz, Jake Paul, I mean, this entire UFC Fight Night card, which we're about to break down, LFA takes place tomorrow. So starting tomorrow, you got to make the real fight fan commitment. So
it's playoffs, right?
If you don't,
it's the regular season.
Not a real fight fan.
No, it's playoffs. Yeah, PFL playoffs.
Which weight classes are they doing tomorrow?
All of them.
Yeah. And also shout out to my boy Ricky Mines. He's fighting on the LFA card as well. So, yeah, a lot of cool guys on the card, man. A lot of locals. Obviously, our friend Sabina Mazo, she's main eventing it. So that's pretty cool.
She's been on the show a while back. One of the early shows, right? That's right. Yeah, but PFL 7, of course, on ESPN, like Mark was mentioning, it's PFL 7, Bubba Jenkins, Jesus Pinheiro, Josh Silveria, Ty Flores in the co-main event 205, and I think, what is his name? Impa Kasangane. He's also on the card, too. That's another guy to keep an eye on. He's doing some pretty big things in the PFL. So, but we have a UFC Fight Night. UFC going back to Nashville. Corey Sandhagen taking on all comers, just like a badass that he is. A lot of people are you getting criticized for taking this fight, but credit to Rob Font, making this happen, man. Because shoot, Umar Nurmagomedov, he was the next up and coming killer. You know what I mean? And Sandhagen happily took that bout. But we have 12 fights slated. Our boy Steve Garcia, unfortunately, not on the card. So that's shitty. He was supposed to fight what's his name, Sean Woodson, right?
Yep.
Yep.
So I don't know if you guys want to.
What about this poster though?
I said, you guys want to do all the fight card before we get to the poster? Or?
Let's do
the poster real quick.
I don't mind it. I mean,
I don't mind it either, man.
I like it.
I give it a 5.
But $149? Would you pay $150 for that poster?
Hell no. That's why I downloaded it.
Yeah,
it's $1.49.
I think their posters are personally signed by both fighters.
Oh, okay.
It's worth it then, I guess. Because if you don't want to pay $149 for it, you're not a real fight fan. But
it's a pretty legit poster. I like it, man.
I do too.
I would give it like
it's not horrible, but
I'm giving it an 8.
8. Yep.
I'll give it a 5. It's a 5 because that simple paper tear across that's pretty easily to do that, you know. So.
And it's been used like a bunch of times.
But it's Fight Book MMA colors, and I love that it's red, black, and white. So
yeah, red, black, and white.
Yeah,
white.
Fight Book MMA colors.
Yeah. But this card, I mean, we're going to do the whole card starting from the bottom, Rudy. We're starting out this night with Ode Osborne. It's prelims, men's flyweight against Azu Alambayev, and this guy is like, what is he, Kazakhstan guy? So he's like Shavkat's cousin or something, you know what I mean? And all those guys are killers. But this guy at 125, I don't know, man. I even as a debut, Ode Osborne's, it's a tough. I have a hard time picking this guy's fights correctly, but I don't know, man. Alambayev is probably the favorite, right, Rudy?
Yeah, he is a favorite. Not a huge favorite, -150 favorite, plus 125 underdog for Ode Osborne right now. The actual odds are plus 156 for Ode, and Asu is a -185 favorite. So
Yeah, 'cause his last win against Charles Johnson was pretty close, and like I said, I can't seem to pick his fight right. I'm gonna pick against him. I'm gonna go Alimbayev by decision or so.
Yep.
I would
Yeah,
choose.
I buy it by decision.
I would probably agree, but I mean, that's probably the right call, but I'm gonna go with O'Day Osborne, man.
Yeah, he's
I'm
a
not gonna
gift.
give up on him yet. I'm not giving up on him yet.
Yeah, he's a gift for sure. And he's way this fight is way out in the rankings too because he's cutting to 125. So he's previously a bantamweight, had some good fights there. So this fight is lightweight. So I don't know. The scale might come into play with this one too.
We'll see tomorrow. You know how the bet stands.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And moving on the prelim, second fight of the night, of course, it would have been Steve Garcia, our boy, against Sean Woodson. Sean Woodson's actually fighting Dennis Bazooka, who is a
That's not Sean
Serra-Longo
Woodson.
guy. Who is that guy?
That's McAdmee.
Mhm.
Man, well, that fight with Steve, the Styles matchup with that was legit, man. But I think Dennis Bazooka is low key killer too, coming out of Team Serra-Longo. Trains with Aljo. Coach Longo spoke highly about him on the show. Said to watch out for this kid. And yeah, man. I mean, shoot, he came in on he used to fight CFFC, I believe, or so.
Uh-huh.
So he's had a lot of. I think he had a Contender Series fight several years ago. He didn't make it on, so this is his opportunity to get back into the UFC, and they chiseled him in last minute. And Dana White loves these guys, last minute fighters. And even if he puts on a great performance and loses, we've seen that happen before. So I think Dennis Bazooka gets the job done here, man. Sean Woodson's tough on the feet, man. Very tough. Great takedown defense. I think Dennis Bazooka's path to victory is to grind him, man, take him down, get some ground and pound, and that's what they do over at Serra-Longo. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah,
But I
it's
don't know.
gonna
I
be
think
gonna be a tough
McAdmee
fight,
is
bro.
gonna use his whistle on this guy.
Yeah, it's a tough fight, man. Minus 180 favorite for Sean Woodson, Dennis Bazooka plus 152 underdog, which isn't too bad of a stretch considering it's last minute notice. Just goes to show, whoever these bookies know who he is. So definitely somebody to look out for. I'm gonna go with Sean Woodson. I think experience definitely plays a factor in this fight. So Sean Woodson in my book, man.
Yeah, because Woodson's only got that one loss too, where he was winning the entire fight, right? And then he got caught by what's his name? The guy that or Julian Erosa, the guy that Fed beat up last time. So yeah, that just shows you how good Fed is too, man. But Woodson, he is very good on the feet. This is an interesting fight, but yeah, I got to go with the Serra-Longo boys and Coach Longo, and then making that trip to Nashville. So should be a good debut for Dennis Bazooka. So next up, I think his last fight.
You think the size will play a factor in this fight? Like Sean Woodson, 6'2", 79-inch reach. Bazooka is 5'9", bro, 70-inch reach. Like, and we've seen Sean Woodson just give people the hardest of times because he's just long and weird.
Yeah,
he has long legs too.
We
so
call him the
he's
yellow
tricky.
bastard for a reason. Yeah, I don't know, man. This is gonna be a tricky fight, man. A huge test for Bazooka Joe. If he can pull it off, that's gonna be a huge feather in his cap.
Yep.
Yeah, moving on, the prelims, very interesting bout here. One of my favorite fights on the card, even though Cody Durden's coming in last second. Jake Hadley, very highly touted prospect. He's ranked number 23. Cody Durden's 20, according to Tapology. Since losing to Jimmy Flick, Cody Durden's sort of been on a tear, man. Like, he could actually have been 5-0. You know, he was winning the fight against Jimmy, got caught in that beautiful flying triangle, which, shoot, that's Jimmy Flick special right there. So, but Cody Durden, what does he train at American Top Team? So he trains with nothing but killers. He's improved his game a lot. Jake Hadley, man, he's very good at flyweight. He's one of these guys is like a turning point in their career, getting into the top 15 conversation, getting these big fights. You know what I mean? So I'm assuming Cody Durden's probably the favorite, right, Rudy?
No, he's not. He's the underdog here, plus 150 underdog, minus 180 favorite for Jake Hadley.
That's money right there. Cody Durden by submission. Yep.
Easy.
I think it's going to happen, man. Jake Hadley's, I don't know, he's got problems with guys that fight the way Cody Durden does, and he's going to be a grinder, man. It's going to be, it could be a three round fucking snoozer. There's a chance. You know what I mean? But I think Cody Dirt is going to go out there and try to get a finish early, and that's my pick for sure. So,
Yep.
moving on, the next fight is actually not going to see the judges. Billy Quarantino against Damon
Oh,
Jackson
dude.
at
I don't
145.
understand how this fight is so low in the prelim.
Man, Billy Q's coming off getting knocked out by Edson Barboza, so he's got to bounce back and look good here. Damon Jackson, man, he's got great wrestling. You know what I mean? If he's able to take Billy down, backpack him for a couple rounds, and steal 2 rounds, he very easily could do that and win the fight, right, Rudy?
Oh yeah, man. This is a great fight, man. Damon Jackson was on a tear, bro.
Yep.
You know, on a tear, and then he got slept by Dan Ige.
Yeah, 20
Yeah,
seconds.
I remember. His brother had passed away, and he dedicated the fight to his brother, and then he just started kicking people's asses.
That's right. That was a great run he had for sure.
Yeah, and he's a hometown favorite coming out of Dallas, Texas. So I expect Damon Jackson to win this fight. It's just, I don't know, bro. You having a crowd. He's the kind of fighter who plays off the crowd, so I think that's gonna be a huge factor in this fight.
Yeah, Mark, Billy Q, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Billy Q.
Yeah, I mean, he's got some great Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Like, even though, like, most of his fights, he gets, like, knocked down in the first round, comes back and wins. Like, I see this probably happening where Damon Jackson maybe gets, like, maybe a near finish in the first round. Billy Q comes back and just, like, chokes him out in the third round. Because my pick is Billy Quarantino. I got to go with Billy Q. And fighting Edson Barboza, the last fight, that was pretty devastating, man. But I think he comes back strong and gets a quality win over a very tough Damon Jackson. Moving on, we do have another fight that won't see the judges. Jeremiah Wells against Carlston Harris. Man, Jeremiah Wells is super legit, man. He's got, well, both these guys, they're a little bit far out in rankings. Like, the matchup itself, Jeremiah Wells has got amazing takedown defense. Like, he's just, the fight is happening on his terms on the feet. You know what I mean? Because last time out, who did he fight? It was Semmelsberger. They fought tooth and nail. Like, that was a war. You know what I mean? So he got tested a little bit there. He one shot kills people. You know, first round knockouts, plenty of them on his resume. Yeah, man, I'd say he gets it done in under 2 knockout. I got to go Jeremiah Wells, and the odds probably are in his favor, right, Rudy? Rudy, are you there?
Jeremiah Wells is a favorite, minus 170 favorite, plus 140 underdog for Carlston Harris.
Yeah. Who's got Carlston Harris here on this panel?
Not me.
Not me.
Doesn't see the judges, absolutely not. So. But yeah, moving on, still on the prelims, the main event of the prelims, another fight that may, in fact, more than likely, not going to see the judges. Ronnie Barcelos against Kyler Phillips. Kyler Phillips has been out for, 2 years now. He had the USADA suspension. And the guy was on a tear, man. Like, what did he beat? He beat Song Yadong. Like, he was, well on his way to being, a top contender. And now he's got to come back and fight a Ronnie Barcelos that's a little bit shop-worn at this point. We don't know how much he's got left in the gas tank, and the tires, the tread on the tires are pretty low for Barcelos, you know what I mean? But he has some of the best takedown defense in the UFC. Nobody's really been able to keep him and hold him down. So that's where I see, like, this Styles fight here where Kyler Phillips is an absolute killer on the feet. Somebody's getting finished, and I think it's going to be Barcelos.
Bro, I think Barcelos is going to get murked, man. I think he's going to get murked. Kyler Phillips, for being out so long, he's hungry for a win.
Yeah, I
and the way that Phillips fights, it's going to be a bad night for Ronnie Barcelos, man.
He just got finished by Umar Nurmagomedov wasted him in 1 round, so he's coming off a big time first round loss. So he hasn't been the same since Kenny G pieced him up. That's where I stopped picking Ronnie Barcelos fights correctly.
Oh yeah, Victor Henry, Kenny G.
Victor Henry fucked him up, man. Like, he showed big holes in his stand-up. So I think Kyler Phillips definitely going to capitalize in that same aspect. You know what I mean? So Kyler Phillips, TKO, second round. Maybe our first round. That's my pick. I'm locking in on
I'm picking the early second round.
Yeah, first round KO Phillips. Yeah, for sure. Moving on, the main card, Ignacio Bahamondes against Ludovic Klein. They're pretty
This
far
is
out
going to
there,
be a good one.
pretty far out in rankings, but these guys are both action fighters, and that's why they chiseled it in on the first fight on the main card. And Bahamondes, man, maybe he catches him with like a big kick or something. He's real long, real rangy guy. He's had some pretty good highlight finishes in his career. Ludovic Klein might make the fight dirty, drag it out to a decision or so, and it might be a war. So I don't know. It's a coin flipper here. I don't know who's the favorite.
I'll sit back and enjoy the fight. That's all I can say.
I'm picking Bahamondes, bro.
I'm gonna go Klein decision. I don't know. It's a weird. He's the underdog, right, Rudy? Klein?
Yeah, plus 165 underdog, minus 200 favorite for Bahamondes.
But
Okay, there's some money to
I
be
gotta
made,
go Klein.
I guess. So yeah,
Fine.
yeah, I'm going Klein. So we got 2-2 here. So yeah,
2-2.
Yeah.
Yep. Moving on to the main
next
card.
one though.
I
Someone needs to
get
win.
I get why the fight is on the main card. It's heavyweight. I mean, because is that 205 or is that heavyweight?
Bozer at 205 again, but he needs a win.
Yeah, no, he
Dude,
made
Tanner
a horrible.
Bozer needs a win bad.
Yeah,
In the words of Tommy D, he's due. He is
Yeah,
due
he
for a
might
win.
be due. Yeah, because Alexa Kamor, isn't he like? Doesn't he train with like Stipe Miocic or something like that? And he's been on the layoff as well. So I don't know, man. The fight probably could be the first fight on the card, in my opinion, and not the main card. So, and he's coming off 2 losses. Alexa Kamor. This is a Tanner Bozer tailor-made possible win, and if Tommy D is right, he's due, and I'm gonna pick Tanner Bozer.
I think I think he's gonna come out and just get that win that he needs. Especially at 205 since it's his new division, right? So he needs to win at his new division.
Well, he looked horrible last time at 205, you know what I mean? So I don't know.
And is this the division for him? You know what I mean? Like,
well, Kudalaba destroyed him in like 2 minutes his last time. He looked god awful, but I don't know. It makes me want to pick Alexa Kamor, but it's a weird fight. It should be the first fight of the night. And it might be the sandwich fight of the night, too. Let's add that in there. Moving on the main card, very interested in this cat, Diego Lopez against Gavin Tucker. Gavin Tucker's also been out a couple years now, too, with like a shoulder injury. So he's anxious to get back in there, make a payday, and fighting an absolute savage killer, Diego Lopez. The guy has legit Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I see this fight going everywhere.
He took Movsar Evloev to a decision, which is very impressive. And I think he did that on short notice, too. So
yeah, he did.
Yeah,
Like
this kid definitely winning.
Dude, Diego Lopez, I think in a couple years, God, we're going to see a new champ, man.
I mean, 145 super deep. He's out there in rankings a little bit now, but I mean, the guy's down to take on short notice opponents and get his name in there. Gavin Tucker, it's a great fight, man. I think the fight probably goes everywhere. It's going to be a wild one. I'm gonna pick Diego Lopez by like third round.
Yeah, dude, Diego Lopez.
Third round submission, locking it in on Tapology Lopez for sure. So
we're gonna see a triangle guillotine choke.
We might see it all, man. Based on that performance his last time against Evloev, he nearly had to finish against that guy, man. Like several times that close on those submissions. So
yep.
But if Tucker can fight off those submissions and keep it on the feet, he may in fact catch Lopez. Though I'm gonna leave that out there too. Moving on the main card, Dustin Jacoby against a guy that I'm pretty high on, and he's low-key killing people out there, Kennedy Nchekwi.
Nchekwi, bro.
Deadly. He's deadly. He's huge, too. For light heavyweight, he's huge.
Dude. I cannot not pick Nchekwi for nothing, dude. Yeah. This guy he's a killer.
Yeah, last time out there with was it Devin Clark or so? He was in a war, got taken down, I think, or so, and just shows, like, he keeps showing his game evolving each time, and like the guy's amazing, dude. Like he's had some amazing performances. I think he took a rough loss. He's on a 3-fight winning streak now. I don't know, man. I don't just Dustin Jacoby, no knock to him, but yeah, this is a fight. They're ranked really close, 17 and 18. That's why it's happening. But Kennedy all the way for sure gets the win, and for sure the favorite, right, Rudy?
Oh yeah, for sure, dude. He's fighting out of Fortis MMA, Dallas, Texas, hometown favorite, minus 140 favorite, plus 120 underdog. Yeah, like you said, he's been on a 3-fight win streak. He was on the chopping block, man, after his last loss, and he came out there and just showed why he deserved to be there. And I don't see this fight going any different than his other fights.
Yeah, he's fought way better competition, man. Like he lost to what Paul Craig a couple years ago. He has a win over Carlos Ulberg. And that guy's just been
Yep.
destroying everybody. You know what I mean? So,
Yep.
and he's got a finish over Ion Cutelaba. Not easy to do. So yeah, man, Kennedy. It's sort of a mismatch, but I don't know what's his name. Jacoby can go out there and fight the best fight of his career, and go out there and get a win, a big upset. But
The only
no
way
way
he wins is by decision. All his fights are like pretty much decisions, losses, or wins. So
this is my lock pick of the night: Kennedy and Jekwe by finish.
I got
Okay.
that on lock too.
Yeah. Co-main event of the evening: Jessica Andrade against Tatiana Suarez. Tatiana, man, she's finally made it back to the cage. It's been a long time, right?
Yeah, it has been a while.
Yeah,
And I
I'm
know it's
still
exactly
picking
gonna
her to
happen
win,
this
bro.
way.
I mean, this chick is undefeated. She's yeah, dude. Jessica Andrade, yeah, she's a killer and all, but I'm picking Tatiana Suarez, man.
Yeah, I got Suarez. She's a heavy
Mm.
favorite, minus 435 favorite, plus 330
Wow.
underdog for
Well,
Jessica Andrade.
Andrade
those
is becoming too aggressive and get caught. Simple
Yeah,
as
but
that.
it's just very weird odds, man. I don't know. I'd show a little more respect to Andrade.
Yeah, with those
She's on a
odds, I'm
two-fight.
picking. Yeah,
She's on a 2-fight losing streak.
Yeah,
Granted,
she is.
but she's not the kind of woman that you want to overlook. And I
Yeah,
don't think
that's
Suarez is gonna overlook her at all.
Dude, I don't think
She's gonna have a
Tatiana.
game
Yeah,
plan and stick to it and do what she does best, and she's gonna win.
yep, totally agree.
yeah, no, I got money on
Suarez.
Andrade for sure. Those kind of odds, I'm picking Andrade. I'm picking her on Tapology, and I got to drop some cash on that one because I have a feeling Andrade is going to catch her, stop the hype, and get that the 0 to 1. You know what I mean? Because Andrade, she's done that to many fighters. Many ladies out there have had to face her when they're rising star, next title contender, and she snuffs them out. I think she does that right here. Same old shit. You know what I mean? It has happened before, and yeah, she's right back in the title talks with one win. Right?
Yep.
At 115. Yep.
Hey, anything's possible.
Hey, there's no more 145 though. Too wasn't that brought up? Dana White said he's dispatching the women's featherweight division
Good.
finally.
Who's fighting on that division?
There's nobody now. Well, it's supposed to be
Nobody.
announced. Yeah, there's somebody. They're supposed to announce it soon that there's no more women's featherweight. So.
Yeah.
But moving on to the main event, it is a catchweight. Corey Sandman Sanhagen taking on Rob Font on short notice. Rob Font's a G. Jared Kelly, that's his boy. I know he's got Rob Font, and I talked
I
to
got
TJ
Rob Font
earlier.
too, bro.
Hey, it's a crazy matchup. Corey Sandhagen, just great game planning, smart guy in the cage. He can get into wars and make fighters. He could drown them out. He could take them out on the feet. He could take them down. He's a finisher, man. Rob Font, I don't know, man. I think he's going to leave some openings out there that Corey Sandhagen capitalizes, and he gets a finish like third round or so. I got Sandhagen, man.
I got Sanhagen.
Yeah. It's going to be a good fight, though.
I got Rob Font.
It's a dangerous fight. It's very dangerous for Corey, but Corey's always accepted the challenge. And,
I got Corey by split decision.
It'll be a war if it is.
Yeah, it's going to be a striking war, I think. I think it's going to be a nice stand-up brawl.
But see, that's the thing, though. Like along the lines of judging, like split decisions are usually one judge gets it wrong. So hopefully they get it right.
I think they're going to do a good job this time, I feel like.
It ain't going to be. This fight ain't going to the judges.
No. No, you don't think so?
No, I have a feeling it's going to. Someone's going to get finished, man. I'm not going to say who, because, I mean, both guys can finish each other, but I don't know. It could be one exciting fight. It could be a war, and yeah, for sure, it could go to the judges. But I'm kind of thinking that it's not going to be.
Yeah, it's basically a number one contender fight because Aljo and Sean O'Malley are fighting here next week, right, or so. So I think Corey's got a lot on the line. He's going to try to get Font out of there and get out unscathed and try to fight for the title before the end of the year. But Corey Sandhagen, man, I cannot pick against him. Rob Font is great fighter. He's very tough, man, to get out of there too. But Sandhagen has proven that he is indeed a finisher in most of his fights, man. It's just not even close. You know what I mean? So the Sandman, and yeah, hopefully O'Malley and Aljo do their thing, right? Like I still said that fight won't happen until it actually happens. We'll see. But yeah, that concludes UFC Nashville. I mean, we're taking place at the Bridgestone Arena. 12 fights deep. Hopefully, they all stay intact. They all got to meet the scale before they meet the cage. So pay attention to Dana White's social media tomorrow. Pay attention to Fightbook MMA for all the weigh-in results, and like I said, hopefully all these fights stay intact. So
yeah, and I'd like to welcome anybody who's watching us on their new streaming platforms, Kick and LinkedIn. So check us out there. 2 new ways that you can check us out.
Yep. And shout out to for being our first way of doing our show this way. We've had some good engagements on these other platforms, man.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, so awesome. Well, guys, that's it for the show. Awesome show, fellas. Don't forget, go to Fightbook MMA. I got the weigh-in results tomorrow. I will be doing them live. And I will have the results to all the events that are happening this weekend. So keep an eye out on the live results. If it's not live, it'll be right after the event. So, because I got to go back and forth. And yeah, so thanks for everybody that's supporting us. Other than that, David, you know what to do, man.
Yes, indeed. Shout out to Mr. Rudy Lara, producer at hand, holding it down. I think the new show format is super legit, and hopefully people that are watching and listening enjoy it. Because, yeah, we're here every Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Be on the lookout. Mystery guests are coming.
Yeah, you never know. You never know when they're going to pop up. They could pop up in the next 5 minutes between the show. We won't know when they pop up, but we're going to have mystery guests.
Oh, man, we got some great guests, so we definitely got more coming, so stay tuned there. For all the latest combat sports news around the world, around the clock, go to fightbookmma.com. For all our previous episodes in audio format, wherever you get your podcasts, look us up, Fightbook MMA, sitting ringside. History going to get made this weekend, boys. Jake Paul, Nate, better be watching, better be a real fight fan. For myself, Dave Rodriguez, Mark Andrew Miller up north, Berto Villa de Paus, Rudy Lara, down south, producer at hand. We are sitting ringside. Be out. We'll see you next week. Enjoy the fights.
Oh, elbow! That's that bow. That's that bow. Ooh. Hey, teach me that one. That's that elbow. All right, so you think that you try to get the legs when you come down the side to get the legs? Oh wow, that's hard. I gotta use that on my. I'm gonna use that on my kids. That's hard. Get low. Just like that.